Hi, everyone. The one and only Derek here.
And your host, Nemo.
Welcome back to Conversation Corner. The next one should be avoidant attachment. Now, tell us more about people who are avoidant.
Avoidant. Because there are two types of avoidant. The fearful ones. Fearful. They're called fearful what?
Fearful avoidant.
Fearful. Yeah, there's another name. Let's see. Because there's dismissive avoidant. And then there's dismissive avoidant. Sorry, guys. And then there's a fearful avoidant. Yeah. So the dismissive one is the original avoidant. Let me put it in quotes. And then the fearful one is the one that has both anxious and avoidant. So let's first start with the avoidant so that they can understand the fearful one.
Okay.
Yeah. So dismissive avoidance. Well, let me tell you, I found it very hard to deal with these ones. I think I'd rather deal with an anxious than then you said you okay. Let's see if you have a story. I can't wait.
I don't think so. No, proceed.
So these ones are never there emotionally, and they avoid closeness at all costs.
Okay.
At all costs. And another myth is people think that most men are avoidants and most women are anxious. I've given you stories of men who are anxious.
Yes, you have.
Now, even women are avoidants. There are women you hear, and I usually tell people, listen to what words, because there are certain words these people use. You like I've told you, the guy was telling me how clingy he is.
Yes.
In short, he was describing an anxious. An avoidant, because they don't like, and then they take so long. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention. Secure people take 2 to 3 months to fall in love. Anxious people, they fall in love that day. You're laughing. Immediately. There's no tomorrow. There's no, it's that day. They see you, you've had love at first sight, run.
Those anxious people.
Could be, yeah. Because when they see you, they want you and they know we are moving forward. You can imagine somebody can be dating themselves, Derek.
Okay.
You've had many cases of people dating themselves.
They're in a relationship.
And then avoidance, they say they take around minimum 6 months. Wamejaribu, normally it's a year.
Before
they can admit
in a relationship.
They love this person. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see how much they push closeness. They will, if they are men, they will hit on you. But the minute you start dating, they back away. Yeah, because again, remember, they are scared of closeness.
Oh, so they prefer independence over deep emotional connection.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can imagine what kind of parenting they got. You can imagine these are mostly the parents who were hardly there for their children. Remember when we started, we said quality and quantity. You see, an example would be, I have a wonderful job that requires me to work many hours. So I'm, in fact, in terms of quality, I'm not there. So I'm not showing, I'm not going to my child's football game. You know, those things that matter to children, those small things that really matter to children, quality is not there. Quantity, you are always dismissed as a child. That's why they are called dismissive avoidance. So if you cry on the floor, you remember us saying, we, kijana, ebu amka uende. Boys are not supposed to cry. Unafanya nini?
Actually, I remember our parents would ask this question. Do you want to cry? Do you want me to give you a reason to cry?
I'm so guilty of this one. Sometimes you're overtaken by emotions, man, Derry. Hey, sometimes I've left work. I'm so tired. I don't want to put that stress on my child.
Yes.
But sometimes I find myself doing it without even knowing. You know, we could be so exhausted. You're going to work exhausted. Ama, we've shot this podcast the whole day. I'm tired. I go home. Like right now, there are lights facing us. We are tired. We go home. And then my child throws a tantrum.
For no reason.
For no reason. Want me to give you a reason? Here is a reason. And that is also not good because you're not giving them the quality in terms of emotional needs. So, yeah.
I actually believe this would apply in most cases where the parents are wealthy and they send their kids to boarding school
very early,
and the parents travel a lot and they leave the kids with the
house helps. Yeah, that's a very okay. I have two cases.
Yes.
Where I want to say sometimes you could be very wealthy because I've seen that you're wealthy, but when it comes time for you to go home, you are home. When they are schooling, you know, when it's time for you to go home, that 5 o'clock when it ends, instead of having 2-3 beers with your boys, you choose to go home.
Yes.
So I've seen that. And then I've seen a couple who I haven't seen, but I heard, and I really empathized with those kids. I really did. Where both the husband and the wife work outside the country. They are Kenyan. So the father, I don't know, was in Tanzania working. The mother is in Rwanda.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And their kids are schooling
in
Kenya. So who is the primary caregiver? The house help. So the house help is staying with the children. So the house help is taking the role of a mother or a father.
Or both.
Yeah. And that is what is happening in that house. Then during the holidays, April or whatever, they are shipped to Rwanda maybe for 2 weeks. And then another 2 weeks shipped off to Tanzania. And I can imagine what attachment style those kids will have at the end of the day. So
it boils down to the upbringing that a child gets.
Yes, they say upbringing comes first, and then the quality of friendships you have from there on. Yeah, remember you're going to school. Other things are happening. It's not just parents, but you know when they said charity begins at home?
Yeah.
They were not joking. The guys were not joking on a very serious note. So it starts at home. And then, you know, it proceeds on to your life, how you choose your friends, how you deal with people. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is why in most cases, the avoidant attached people struggle with the vulnerability and expressing their emotions.
Yes. Yes. That one I noticed when I was doing my dating research. Kwanza start crying. Oh my goodness, you're not spending time. The phone goes off. You cannot do that. You know how sometimes ladies we cry when things go left?
Yes.
You cannot bring such emotions to avoidance.
And they also downplay the importance of relationships in their lives. Yeah.
In fact, one lovely question I tell you, when dating is important. We always say this in our podcast.
Yes.
So there are questions that help you when dating. And I think there are 2 questions I know that help me when I want to know if a man is avoidant. And you can also use is also ask, how do you deal with conflict? Because avoidance, they don't deal with the conflict there. They can even take, they can take 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even a month
to address
that conflict
that happened to it.
And then you say ladies would like to archive.
In most cases, they just like to archive. It's not about being avoidant.
No, can you imagine we are not agreeing on maybe parenting? So we said, you said this is a boy, he must not cry. Me, I'm telling you, no, as much as the boy, blah, blah, blah. So that is already conflict. Okay?
Yes.
So instead of sitting down and saying, okay, Derek, what's on the table for you? And for me, what is on the table for me? They will either choose not to address or address it further down the line, even a month.
Okay.
You know, being secure, that is hard to think about.
Yes.
Yes.
I can imagine a problem that we are facing right now. You do not want us to address it right now. You want us to wait.
Yeah, a month. Can you imagine waiting a month?
Can be very frustrating.
Because I remember one thing he told me in his previous relationships. If a problem arose, he would go. He would go for a whole 2 weeks.
Just disappear.
Yeah, disappear. And you're living in the same house with that person. Disappear. He would disappear. And then I'd ask him, where would you go? He would say, to a friend's or relative's house.
Why?
Because they do not want to face conflict.
Oh my.
It is hard.
Very.
Yes. So, yeah, they dismiss closeness at all costs. All costs.
So, avoidant, attached people tend to pull away when things get emotional.
Yeah. And by emotional is not at when, you know.
Yeah, when it's intimacy, even when it's just a heated conversation.
They don't.
Okay.
Because they don't have the tools. They were never given the tools by the parents to handle conflict. So how do you expect them to handle conflict when they are old? I'm not old, but adults.
Okay.
It's very, very hard. And these ones, it's very unfortunate, Derek, that the world is like this. But you'll find the avoidants have the money because they know how to chase the money. So you find most of them are workaholics, and they know how to get the bag.
And ladies love a man with money.
Yes. So you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can imagine. So try and find out this money. Is this that this person is even narcissistic people? They have money. I mean, for you to get that bag, most of the time you must step on people's heads.
Yeah. I saw somewhere that narcissistic people tend to be very successful in workplaces or even business.
Yes, because you have to step on people's heads. Yeah, or emotions or whatever.
Yeah, and unapologetically.
And yeah. Why am I saying sorry? For who? For what? When? Why? So you can imagine it's the same thing as an avoidant person. Why would they say sorry? They don't have the tools. So they move with fire. You know, Derek, if you are not married, I will tell you to exhaust these people out
and
here.
And learn everything.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a good thing that I am taken. I can only imagine the stress that these people are going through out here.
At that time, my cousin told us, it is better to die with being eaten by sharks than to date in Nairobi.
It's too much work.
Yeah, you'd rather die through sharks. Yeah, so I understand when you talk about how good it is to be taken.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the avoidant attachment. They also resist deep emotional intimacy.
Can imagine sex included.
Man, it must be very difficult to dating such a person.
And I told you.
Hey. Wow.
Withholding sex. They withhold sex.
Wow.
Because they are angry or they are scared that you might be getting too close. And they are very good at situationships. I mean, I don't have emotions. You know, can you imagine having a situationship with an anxious person?
Very difficult.
They'll fall for you there.
Yeah.
And now imagine a situationship with an avoidant who is taking 1 year to fall in love. You will never get to the heart. You know, some people have situationships in hopes that, that's what I've realized. People have situationships in hopes that they will end up marrying these people or dating these people.
Yeah. And now if you are an avoidant attached person, and somebody wants to be, oh my. For our viewers, for those who are for those who are dating an avoidant attached person, my sympathies are to you. Must be very difficult. I can only imagine the challenges that you are facing. It isn't easy.
You remember me saying at the beginning you'd rather date an anxious than an avoidant
person?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, let's move to the next one. Fearful avoidant.
Tell us about that one. Why are you laughing?
These ones, I don't know how to explain them. They might feel highs and lows
very high
at the same time in relationships. They also might sabotage those relationships.
They do sabotage.
They do sabotage them.
Yeah. See, it's just like anxious. They also sabotage.
Okay.
Because they feel unworthy. Being both anxious and avoidant at the same time.
Now, these are the ones who are, I even forget about the anxious ones. These ones are terrible. They are worse. Yeah. You can imagine somebody clingy this moment, and then out of nowhere they want to be distant again.
Oh, yes, Derek. Oh, you have never met them?
No.
I wish ungekuwa kijana. Ningekwambia twende kwa ground. You date afresh.
You go and show me the ropes.
Yeah, no, you date like you date afresh. With the intentions, you are learning. Where? 1 minute, baby, I love you. 2nd minute, ka uko kwenye uko. That's those highs and lows.
How do you deal with such a person?
Amy, I don't know. That one I don't know. That one I just say, go to therapy. No, how do you honestly deal with such a person? And you can imagine the kind of childhood they had.
Yeah, because such people, they struggle with trust. They cannot regulate their emotions.
Naona umewahurumia.
Yeah, it's just difficult. I believe the kind of upbringing that they have so much trauma with them.
Actually, even psychologists say they are the hardest to deal with.
Yeah.
But now what you do in the world, Derek? What do you do? Even if we have a lot of empathy for them, the only thing is for them to go through therapy.
Therapy, indeed.
Yeah, because even if they date a secure person, you can imagine they download. By the way, being secure doesn't mean it's permanent.
And it doesn't mean you are immune.
So they can even make you anxious.
Yes. And that is why we will say this, and I will say it once more. The first step is admitting that you have a problem and then finding a solution to that problem. The fearfully avoidant people have a problem. They need to admit it and find a solution. I think we need to find therapists whom we can recommend in case somebody comes to us and says that I have a problem. We can recommend them to a therapist with whom they can air out their problems and be assisted.
I know one therapist, and I was asked. There's a time I was asking her if we can work with her.
Okay.
So I have approached one therapist. Maybe the best thing is to approach a couple more.
Okay.
Because again, also therapists are different. There are some that deal with children, some that deal with adults.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's good to approach. But I know there are some free therapists, Derek. I mean, sometimes we could have viewers who don't have the money.
Yes.
And
yes,
they
yes.
really want to go for therapy. I know any CITAM church offers free therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can have a book. They can just go in, talk to them, and book a session. I've also booked a session with them one
With
time.
CITAM?
Yeah, with CITAM. When my marriage was going through hell, I went to CITAM, and they welcome you very well. Yeah. Another friend of mine told me there's an NGO. I'm not sure what's the name of the NGO. It also offers a free therapy. So maybe the next time we have a show, I'll have found out which therapy, the name of the NGO.
Okay.
But I think if they Google free NGO services in Kenya, they can find it.
We will try and gather that information and share with the viewers so that we make it easier for them, for those who are willing to get help, so that they can have a direct access to those people who can assist them.
Do you remember, Derek, when we were talking about love bombing?
Yes, yes.
And we said, do ladies love bomb? So you can imagine dealing with either an anxious or the fearful avoidant. You see how they can easily love bomb.
Yes. Because you see, they experience wanting love, but also fearing rejection at the same time.
Imagine. And I think I met a lady, for her, I just met her. And the mother told me, I don't understand my daughter. She's we're just a little past teenage. So she was, I think, 19, 20.
Okay.
So the mother had some serious concerns. And the mother told me, talk to my daughter. I honestly don't know what's happening. Today she's happy. 1 hour later, she tells you you're not a good parent. So she didn't understand what was happening. But I understood. You see, because 1 minute they are eating chapati while laughing, making those chapatis. Then the next minute, she's, Mom, you don't love us. You don't do this for us. And she really takes it to a serious level. So the mother was very concerned.
Yeah, it can be very actually unnerving.
And I just told them, I talked to her, I understood what was going on. So I just told them, I honestly want you to read on attachment styles. I don't know I never followed up because it was not a continuous thing. It was just a 1-time or 2-time event.
Okay. So fearfully avoidant people need help.
I think anyone who has insecure attachment needs help. Hey, you've really empathized with those ones.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to put myself in a situation where I am dating such a person. I wouldn't last. Oh, I lie.
Today they want you, tomorrow they don't want
you. You know, it can be even confusing.
It's very confusing.
For the person.
Yes.
Who is dating them.
Exactly. And also something I've noticed with the fearful, I think any avoidance, but more of the fearful, is they take so long to respond to your SMSs. So long. See, like you can say, morning, how are you today? They might respond that tomorrow. As in, they have such, even in their conversations, they are very inconsistent.
They have such a blank period of a long period of time without responses.
So you might be chatting very well, gone for 1 week. You wonder what just happened. You didn't fight, you didn't do it. What? What just happened? They have that kind of inconsistency.
But people also need to learn the difference between fearful avoidant and somebody who's just not interested. Yes.
Because I think we should do that.
Yeah, the characteristics might be similar.
Or even a narcissist and an avoidant.
Yes.
Yeah, because they are two different things. I hear people saying he's a narcissist. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just an avoidant.
People need to know the difference. Did we talk about narcissism?
No, we've not talked about narcissism.
Yeah, it's something that we need to talk about.
We do.
At length.
That one we might have like maybe 2 episodes again. Yeah. Yeah. So how do people know, or do you have more on fearful avoidant we can talk about?
No, not at the moment.
You just look, from the moment we started talking about avoidance, you've gone very low. You cannot imagine dating any of those avoidants.
Yeah, it must be actually quite difficult.
It is very exhausting. And, therapists say there's something called an anxious and avoidant loop. They call it a loop. You'll find that the anxious people mostly tend to date avoidant people, and the avoidant people will tend to date the anxious people.
So the cycle continues.
The cycle. So that means this one is busy chasing, this one is busy avoiding or withdrawing. This one is busy trying to chase, this one is avoiding. So if you find yourself in such a loop, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, be curious. Don't say he must love me. I don't know. Or she must. She must.
Don't force issues.
Don't force. Just find out what is your attachment style. Again, how do you find out? Take a test. Personally, I took a test. They are free. We can also link up that test.
Yes, we should.
Yes, so that people find out what is your avoidant styles. And there's something I've seen with people taking this test. Some people take it wrongly. Some people take it with wishful thinking, not who they are. So if the test tells you, do you do this? Because they wish to do this, they answer it. So they don't answer, who exactly are you now? So when you're taking the test, try and be as honest as you can be with your current self.
Yes.
And not wish to be something else that you're not. That way you'll be able to get the maximum help.
Yeah. All right. So that is it on the attachment styles.
I don't think I have anything else on my notes here as well.
So, any questions?
Any questions to our viewers? Let's see. Do you know your attachment style? And if you don't, by the way, don't assume. This is not, I've seen an avoidant assuming he's secure. Don't assume, just take the test. Take the test and be as honest as you can.
Yes. So, do you know your attachment style? If yes, how do you know that is just attachment style? Because I didn't even know my attachment style until I did the research. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't.
Me, I knew.
I didn't know.
I knew. No, from the time I started understanding attachment styles, I knew that you were secure.
Yeah. So this is information that has been there, but it was not clearly defined. Yes. Now that it has been clearly defined, people should get to learn these things so that they can understand how to make their relationships work. Yes.
That's very true. And if you're a parent, I said I'm very passionate about this. if you're a parent, be very, very, I don't know what to say, Derek. I know people have high-end paying jobs, but be very, very intentional with your children, because how you raise them determines their traumas, their attachment styles, so many things.
Yes. Even there was that Kiswahili saying that goes, samaki mkunje akiwa angali mbichi. Something along that line.
Me, I flunked. Kiswahili. Hey. I love it.
But you flunked it.
Do I love it? I don't know.
You know, Kiswahili is one very difficult language.
It is.
Yes.
I don't even know how I will help my children with homework. God help me. Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you. And this episode, let's catch you on the next one.
Share, subscribe, follow, like,
comment.
And comment.
Yes.
Yes, those comments are very important. And if you go to our social media pages, you'll see a form.
Yeah. There's a form that is there. Please fill it in so that at least we can get your feedback.
We also know the topics
that we can discuss on the next podcast. Yes.
All right, guys. Let me use Kiswahili. Kwaheri.
Tumeshukuru kwa muda wenu.
Allah.
You know, there's one thing I noticed about my people. Hey, Luyas, how are you doing? We love Kiswahili so much. And we speak Kiswahili a lot. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just even go on Facebook and just find out. People make fun of Luyas because of Swahili speaking.
Oh, okay. Why would they make fun? Okay.
Because we speak it so often.
And fluent.
Not really fluently. It's the way people say it. You know, kwa minajili ya mambo haya, usikuwe na mahusiano na mtu huyo. Such and such things. So, kwa minajili ya muda mliotupatia, tunashukuru sana. It's been a pleasure. Bye bye.
Aya, sawa, bye. Kwaheri, that's what I know. Kwaheri, bye.
We are also planning on having a webinar.
Yeah, we can even do a Q&A session in the webinar where you just get to ask us some questions and see how we can respond.
Yes.
Yeah.